Disrupsi teknologi menjadi penanda dimulainya Industri 4.0. Juga di era Internet of Things ini membuat seluruh pihak untuk dapat mampu mencapai kualitas terbaik untuk mampu mengolah data dengan seefektif dan seefisien mungkin. Masihkah kita bertahan dengan cara yang konvensional? Ikuti pembahasannya selengkapnya bersama saya Persero dan narasumber kita kali ini. Yang sudah hadir bersama saya kali ini Bapak Reilly, Chief Executive Officer dari Cloudera, dan juga Bapak Kaspar Situmorang selaku EVP Digital Center of Excellence PT BRI Persero Tbk. Hello.
Hello.
Good day.
Well, good day. It's wonderful to be here.
Wonderful. Okay, so before we start to talk deeply about the industry in Indonesia, let's start our conversation with big data. What is actually big data, Tom?
Well, so big data is a simple term to really say the world is rapidly becoming interconnected. Every device, whether it's our phones, our homes, our cars, are becoming connected to the internet. And every device creates immense amounts of data that we've never had access to before. And so big data is to say, wow, there's so much new data, and from that data, we can get new insights about how people interact with products, how they interact with one another, and therefore enterprises can service them better, sell them more things, and deliver new competitive products. And that, all that right there, the newly connected world and these new use cases, is summarized in this notion of big data.
So is there any characteristics from big data? Maybe about the volume, about how we can transfer it so fast, or any characteristic about big data?
Yes, so it's estimated that by 2020 there'll be 30 billion devices connected on the planet. And those 30 billion devices will generate nearly 500 times more data than exists today. In fact, in 2020, 90% of the world's data at that time doesn't exist right now. So we're creating so much new data, more data than ever has been created in history. And that volume of data is where all the opportunities at. But it's also the challenges for technology, how you capture that amount of data and how you analyze it.
Okay, so is the need of big data really unavoidable for now, Tom?
The opportunity for big data is needs to be addressed by every single enterprise. Every single enterprise really needs to rethink how they use data to a competitive advantage. In fact, it's now believed that data has surpassed oil as the most valuable resource on the planet.
Yeah. So, what should enterprise do about this? They should do the data management well, or they can use any other sources to help them to manage data.
So every enterprise needs to build the expertise in understanding how to collect data, how to secure data and ensure the privacy is controlled, but use data to a competitive advantage to better serve their customers and grow revenues, to connect their products or services if they're manufacturers so they can have a competitive advantage, and also data is being used to protect businesses, and that's how you protect yourself against fraud, money laundering and financial services, or even cybercrime. And every enterprise in every industry has their unique use cases where data can give them a competitive advantage to grow their revenues and to protect their businesses.
Okay, so we'll go to Mr. Kaspar Situmorang. How Bank BRI see this thing about big data? Do BRI already do a big step for this?
Absolutely. So Bank BRI, as the biggest bank in Indonesia, we've put much focus on risk management big data because, you know, big data has been used for so long in the world for preventing frauds, for credit scorings, and now it's coming up to Indonesia as well. So Bank BRI also captured that because risk management is the biggest focus in every bank in Indonesia. That's also our focus to establish one of the best credit scoring, fraud detections, and also merchant assessments in our big data initiative in Bank BRI.
So the financial sector is already moving to reach this goal of big data, right?
Absolutely, because you know we're in the business of trust, right?
Yeah.
If we cannot build up that trust through technology, then you're losing the game. So that's why Bank BRI for the past few years, we've already implemented big data in risk management focus. So as I mentioned, we put our focus on 3 pillars on risk management. One is on fraud detections, second part is credit scoring, and last part, of course, on assessing the merchants through big data.
Okay, so I'm going to move to Tom. How you see the big data industry, global, or maybe in the United States now?
Well, it's our company started 10 years ago, and the first companies we started working with were in the United States. However, in the last few years, we have seen the international markets grow extremely rapidly. And why I'm here in Indonesia, this is a tremendous market in Indonesia. If you just look at the population size here, right, the 4th largest nation on the planet from a population standpoint, what that reflects is there's a lot of data being generated right here, and a tremendous opportunity.
Okay, so in big data industry, where is the position of Cloudera? You can explain more about it?
Sure. So Cloudera, being a 10-year-old company, was the first company to pursue this market opportunity in big data. In fact, many think the name Cloudera is synonymous with big data because the underlying technology that our founders were behind is the technologies enabling the big data industry. But at 10 years old, we are still early in this journey because we are helping the largest enterprises on the planet go through a digital transformation and put data at the center of their businesses. And so today we have well over 1,000 of the world's largest enterprises, but this technology is applicable to tens of thousands of enterprises, and every one of our customers is an early stage of this journey.
Okay, so what industry should realize that the importance that big data is very important, and how can you connect it with Cloudera services?
Yes, every industry needs to understand how they can employ big data technology. So every telecom provider in the world is really trying to understand how their networks perform with data, how they reduce customer churn or sell more to their customers with data. And that's both in a prepaid and a postpaid world. Every healthcare provider is trying to look at how they can improve population health by understanding the health of their populations and target services. Our platform is being used to do genomic research to find the cure for cancer. Our technology is being used to collect data from the first spaceship traveling to Mars and collecting all the data from that spaceship on a 5-year one-way journey to help that spaceship come back. The automotive industry is using this technology to build autonomous vehicles and connected cars. So you go through every industry and it's being disrupted by the connected world, and companies are reinventing themselves around data.
Okay, we'll continue the discussion right after the break. Pemirsa IDXCHANNEL, kami akan segera kembali, tetaplah bersama kami akan kembali sesaat lagi.
Ingin berinvestasi di pasar modal? Percayakan saja ke perusahaan kami yang sudah dijamin oleh KPEI.
KPEI adalah lembaga clearing dan penjaminan yang menjadi perantara antara penjual dan pembeli yang tidak saling kenal. Fungsi KPEI untuk menentukan hak dan kewajiban, serta memastikan dipenuhinya seluruh hak anggota clearing saat jatuh tempo. Jadi, jika terjadi kegagalan penyelesaian dari anggota clearing tertentu, anggota clearing lainnya tetap menerima hak-haknya. Hadirnya KPEI membuat penyelesaian transaksi bursa menjadi aman, efisien, dan terjamin.
Ya, pemirsa IDXCHANNEL, kembali lagi bersama saya Persero dan juga narasumber kita pada hari ini ada Tom Reilly dari Chief Executive Officer Cloudera dan juga Bapak Kaspar Situmorang dari PT Bank BRI Persero Tbk. Tom, I would like to ask you, since Cloudera founded in 2008, what is the main focus of this company?
So our main focus is to help enterprises around the world use data to a competitive advantage. But to do that, we have to introduce a completely new architecture so they can collect data from the Internet of Things and apply machine learning and advanced analytics against that data. And that's our mission, to help enterprises transform their businesses and become digitally and data-driven.
So we know that the focus of the Cloudera, that you already mentioned it. So what is the services that Cloudera offer to the customers?
So we are a technology provider. And what we want to do is help our customers have modern technology so they can collect data, analyze it, and introduce competitive offerings. So like BRI is our client, and we provide technology to them, and we'll provide the resources to train them and skill them up in this new capability so that they have the internal knowledge and skills to use data to a competitive advantage.
So you help the customers to make maybe help to make the right decision from the data.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to Mr. Kaspar. Why BRI finally use Cloudera services? What's the main reason beyond it?
Right, thank you. So it's pretty obvious though. I mean, we are the biggest banks in Indonesia by assets, of course. We need the best providers of big data analytics platforms in the world. So we finally decided our decisions last year we will use Cloudera, and we've been using it until now, and we're very happy to use it. Because why? Bank BRI focus for the past is always about how do we accelerating this financial inclusion in Indonesia. So by having put in place data advancement, we are able to accelerate what we call digital loans in Indonesia, because for so long we've been distributing loans in traditional models though. But by doing that, it took a bit more time to finally complete the financial inclusion in Indonesia. So that's why by using now lots of machine learning in our credit scoring, lots of fraud detections in our machines, and also in the merchant assessments advancement, we're able at the moment to be launched soon. Like this month we will be able to do some sort of a piloting in one of our customers to do digital loans. So distributing and disbursing the loan don't have to meet face-to-face anymore. You can just download the apps, fill out the apps, and the credit scoring will do the magics and disperse the money to your bank account. We don't have to do face-to-face meeting. So that's something that we are eager to kind of accelerate in Indonesia in order to help the government to accelerate the financial inclusion achieved by 2020.
Okay, so what's the difference between before using Cloudera services and after using Cloudera services?
So for past few years, right, enterprise data in Bank BRI, it's put in place in silos. So also in those silos, we're still using RDBMS. So RDBMS is like the old school of data technology though. So the capacity is not enough to handle the massive amount of Bank BRI, because we are, I think, by far the oldest banks in Indonesia. We are not almost, 16th of December, we will be 123 years old. So we have massive and giant data. And this massive giant data, if you don't harness it correctly, then you're out of the game. So that's why by using Cloudera and also HBase, we are able to tap in real-time fraud detections. We are able to tap in machine learning using Cloudera DSW. And also, the biggest part, of course, is by using RDBMS previously, you are unable to do real-time decisions making on fraud detections, because in the past few years, every time you want to do magic things, you gotta do through data warehouse, meaning you have to dump the data into a data warehouse and then you kind of operate later on in the next days. But by using this new technology, you could do streamline and real-time decisions making as well. That's what we've been doing right now, real-time decisions and also real-time savings customers' monies and customers' profiles, of course.
Okay, so Tom, Cloudera really helps Bank BRI. So we know that every industry has characteristics. So can Cloudera help all of industry with their different characteristics?
Yes, that's one of the exciting things about our opportunity is every industry is going through a similar transformation as Bank BRI. So the banking industry is quickly moving to a digital experience and no longer having physical presence, right? And all of us as consumers would rather have a digital experience. It's just much more convenient. So everything that Kaspar was talking about is how they're transforming their business to be a digital. Give out digital loans as one example. Auto industry, if you are not connecting your cars back home and offering predictive maintenance on your cars, improving your digital experience for your consumers, you're going to lose sales to companies that are. And if you're not building an autonomous vehicle, and an autonomous vehicle is all about data and machine learning and AI, you're going to be disrupted. If you're a healthcare provider and you're not using data to figure out how to improve your population's health, reduce the amount of people returning into hospitals with data, you'll be at a competitive disadvantage from a cost standpoint. If you're a retailer and you're not building a profile of your customer and offering very targeted next best offers and promotions, you will lose customers. If you're a telecom provider and you're not figuring out your customer and what's unique about their use of your network, are they more digital? Are they more voice? What's in their network? How many people they talk to? Or do they travel or not? And you're not giving them tailored packages, you will lose your customers. So every industry is being disrupted and challenged, and every large enterprise is trying to figure out these data to a competitive advantage.
Okay, so good. So from Cloudera, last month, we know that Cloudera and Hortonworks finally been merged. But I would like to ask some questions, but you can answer after the break. Pemirsa IDXCHANNEL, tetaplah bersama kami karena kami akan segera kembali sesaat lagi.
Awalnya nggak langsung yakin, tapi setelah ikut 2 kali acara edukasi Bursa Efek, akhirnya tertarik juga.
Karena mudah, saya ajarkan ibu-ibu lain, sampai anak saya juga ikutan.
Selesai dagang, saya bawa 100.000 untuk nabung saham. Hasilnya jelas sekali.
Yuk kita nabung saham sekarang.
Ya pemirsa, terima kasih Anda menyaksikan kami di IDXCHANNEL dan masih bersama kami saat ini Reilly, Chief Executive Officer dari Cloudera dan juga Bapak Kaspar Situmorang, EVP Digital Center of Excellence PT BRI Persero TBK. So Tom, last month Cloudera merged with Hortonworks. Maybe you can a little explain about that corporate action and what is the expectation after the merger?
Well, a month ago we announced our plans to merge with Hortonworks. We haven't finalized that yet. Hortonworks has been our direct rival and direct competitor. We're roughly 2 companies of the same size. We decided to merge to get greater scale.
Greater scale?
Yes, and by having greater scale, it's going to allow us to, 1, accelerate our innovation, expand globally quicker, but also compete against larger players. And we're able to achieve that. It's expected that by 2020, we'll be greater than $1 billion in U.S. revenue. We'll be growing greater than 20%, and we'll be quite profitable with greater than 15% operating cash flow margins.
So it's about greater scale,
yes.
The expectation after this corporate action. So maybe we're going to move about another topic, Indonesia. How Cloudera sees Indonesia, and Is Indonesia included in Cloudera's target?
Yes, I'm actually here in Indonesia because of the sizable market opportunity that this country represents. It turns out that being the fourth most populous nation on the planet and the density of the population, that there is more data in Indonesia than in most places on the planet. And what I like about working with folks like Bank BRI or the telecom providers here, the senior executives understand the importance of moving quickly to capture this data and use it for competitive advantage. And so I am very excited about the work we're doing with the major corporations here, both in banking and telecom and in the government, and the size of the opportunity.
So there's many companies already using Cloudera services besides Bank BRI, maybe in Indonesia?
Yes. We have the largest telcos, several of the largest banks, opportunities with the government as well.
Okay, so I'm going to move to Mr. Kaspar Situmorang.
Sure.
You, Bank BRI already use Cloudera services. So what's the benefit after you use the Cloudera service? Is there any significant difference after it?
Well, absolutely, Pak. So last year, our initiative in digital loans, we name it BridgeSpot. So previously, when we give loans to our customers, still doing in traditional ways. And then we build an apps, put in place some credit scoring based on machine learning. It improved our productivity of our salesmen in the fields up to 50%. So from previously, if you want to give a loan, like Kupedes or Kur, it might took 2 weeks. Now it can only be done in 2 days. So by having that in place, last year we again consecutively for the last 13 years scored the biggest profit in Indonesia as state-owned enterprise bank. So that's something that we call it the real deal in big data investment, I think. So second part, of course, we're still having an attack from, fraudsters and such. So that's something that in bank we need to be able to secure their money, that's the trust they put in us, in a fashion, right? So, ATM skimming also, for the past few years, it's always happening every year. And this year we stop it like in real time because we're now able to detect it. We're able to implement the behavioral models on machine learning to capture in real time the anomaly when every e-channel transaction happening in real time. So whenever you transact in our banking, mobile banking, and also EDCs, when there's an anomaly, the machines will capture it and disable it immediately or block it immediately. So the fraud will stop immediately at that, and your money is secure in Bank BRI, of course. So top line, bottom line, both of them are caters in implementing big data, of course, with the help of very great tools by Cloudera, of course.
And I'm sure Kaspar is should be even greater, more proud of what he's done. Delivering loans, improving margins, reducing fraud is critical to the brand of a bank. And we have worked with the largest banks around the world, with the biggest organizations. What Bank BRI is doing with Kaspar's leadership is great compared to even some of the bigger banks.
Thanks, Tom.
So what's the advantage, maybe the advantage of Cloudera if we compare to another company in the same industry? Tom?
Yes, so we have competitors, but here's how we differentiate ourselves. First, we are recognized as the innovator. We're always the first on the cutting edge, and we invest a lot in R&D to innovate. But it's not just with our own engineers. We work with the open source community, and we embrace this community of tens of thousands of developers around the world who are innovating, and we bring that open source to our customers. But we also differentiate ourselves in how we work with our customers. This is a partnership we have with our customers because we have new technology and our customers are trying to implement it in new ways. So, for instance, how a bank has never worked before. So we partner, we're the technology provider, they're the expert in the industry, and we're transforming the bank or a telco or a retailer together. And we like to pride ourselves in being a partner versus a vendor.
So you're being a partner. So if we talk about current technology developments in Indonesia, how you see it? Because as we know, Indonesia has, if we talk about startup, already has 4 unicorns. And how Cloudera sees it? Do they need Cloudera service to make their company or enterprise become bigger?
Well, so let's take your 4 unicorns here. These unicorns have grown overnight.
Yeah.
What do they have in common? They're using data and the internet to a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Unicorns across the world work with technology like ours. Many of them are our clients. 8 of the top 10 technology companies on the planet are using Cloudera to competitive advantage. And the unicorns, though, here in Indonesia, I think are fascinating how fast they've grown and how they've transformed here in Jakarta. You know, just the ability to do a ride share, right, just like that, and have a car or a scooter or a motorcycle pick you up, didn't exist just a few years ago. That is the power of data, the power of the internet, and the power of machine learning that's making all that matching happening.
So I'm sure that they really need you guys. So does Cloudera has a long-term plans in Indonesia market?
I think this is going to be a tremendous market for us. We have invested, we have a sizable team here, we have some very sizable customers. This is going to be a big growing market for us. Just the growth of the population, the forward thinking of executives like Kaspar, who are just very aggressive. This is going to be a tremendous business opportunity for us, but also a market we're going to be very proud of. I think technology can really improve how the economy works here in Indonesia, help transform some of these businesses, improve the lives for all.
Okay, so maybe this is the last question for you, Tom. Do you have, or Cloudera has message to deliver to Indonesian people, or maybe Indonesian industries? Please.
Certainly. So, as in the rest of the world, the internet is changing how businesses operate. This is an opportunity to work with a company like Cloudera to transform your business, to better serve your customers and grow your revenues, to offer newly competitive products or services that are connected through the internet, or to protect your businesses and using data to protect yourselves from the nefarious attacks that are happening in this connected world. Indonesia is no different than the rest of the world. The opportunity here is to move quicker and have Indonesia compete on a global scale, because now you can expand your services through digital assets globally. And we'd like to be your partner on that journey.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom Reilly, Chief Executive Officer from Cloudera, and Pak Kaspar Situmorang, EVP Digital Center of Excellence PT Persero TBK.
Thank you.
We wish you guys tons of luck, and thank you very much.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you for hosting us.
Ya, pemirsa IDXCHANNEL, terima kasih banyak Anda sudah menyaksikan sesi pembahasan saya terkait dengan revolusi Industri 4.0 dan juga perkembangan pengolahan data, begitu, agar semua enterprise ataupun perusahaan dapat melakukan dengan efektif dan efisien. Mungkin Anda juga salah satu yang mencermati perkembangan hal ini. Jadi jangan ketinggalan, begitu pemirsa, karena dunia selalu bergerak cepat, kemudian teknologi juga selalu berkembang, tidak boleh ketinggalan. Dan sekian pembahasan kita pada kali ini. Saya Fajar Wayo undur diri, sampai jumpa.